Gravitas, powered by Skoda, made of smart imagination.
Here's what's happening in Sri Lanka. The country has declared a state of economic emergency. There is a massive shortage of essential food supplies. Hundreds of people are lining up outside ration shops just to buy cooking oil. What triggered this crisis? Sri Lanka's economy is suffocating under the burden of Chinese debt. It's bleeding Colombo's coffers. Here's a report.
Sri Lanka has declared an emergency. There is a serious shortage of food supplies. People are standing in long queues for basics. Stuff like rice, sugar, milk powder and cooking oil. Colombo has now decided to press the emergency buttons. The state will now supply essentials. Stocks of staples are being seized, and the Sri Lankan government will now decide at what price they will be sold. What went wrong? Why is Sri Lanka suddenly struggling to provide its citizens with basic food items? The country is running short of foreign exchange. By July this year, they had fallen to $2.8 billion. This money is going toward debt settlement, so Colombo doesn't have enough money to pay for the imports of food items.
The food shortage state of emergency that was declared yesterday is actually a symptom of a much larger macroeconomic problem in the country. And that is the dwindling foreign exchange reserves and the inability to respond to it in a timely and adequate fashion. Sri Lanka is using its foreign exchange reserves to meet its debt and interest rate obligations. As a result, the foreign exchange resources that are actually available to import goods for citizens to consume is limited.
A major crisis is now looming over the island nation. Sri Lanka has to pay $3 billion to its creditors in the next 12 months. Clearly, it doesn't have enough to settle the debt. Where will Colombo get the rest of the money? There's only one option: more loans. And Sri Lanka is borrowing from everyone. They already owe more than $5 billion to China. 2 weeks ago, they took another loan from Beijing. This one was worth $308 million. Bangladesh too is pitching in with a $100 million loan. This is in addition to a loan of $50 million that Dhaka had sent in August. Sri Lanka has sought help from the International Monetary Fund too. It has received $787 million. For how long can Colombo keep this cycle of debt going? More than 80% of the country's revenues are spent on paying off the interest from loans. The island nation is sinking under the weight of China's debt trap, and it's struggling to stay afloat. Bureau Report, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
Gravitas, powered by Skoda, made of smart imagination.